Do you know that Australia's closed border costs $36.5 million a day to the economy? Australia will not reopen its international borders until long after 2022. Since March 2020, the border has been sealed. That choice was crucial in keeping COVID-19 out of the country, but it came at a high social and economic cost. To understand the detailed news, stay tuned till the end of the video, and yes, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Warm welcome from Brain Drain Consultants to our immigration information and news channel A2Z Immigration Updates. By research reckoning, every day the borders remain largely closed is costing at least $36.5 million in lost expenditure. The social costs, of families separated, of students and others losing their jobs but being denied government assistance and so on, are hard to quantify. Calculating the costs of the closed border. In 2019, the Australian Bureau of Statistics recorded a total of 10,067,650 short-term and long-term visitor arrivals, an average of a day. Over the whole year, according to the Reserve Bank of Australia, they spent about on Australian goods and services. In 2020, visitor numbers dropped to 2,023,020 to 1,971,490 of those in the first 3 months. Since April 2020, the average number of visitor arrivals has been about 219 a day. Losses from tourists. For research calculations, it excluded spending on imported goods and focused on expenditure by international visitors on Australian goods and services. RBA data indicates in 2019 this was about $23 billion, or an average of about $63 million a day. Since April 2020, it has been negligible. It wouldn't be accurate, though, to say Australia is losing more than $63 million every day due to closed borders. If the border was open, it is unlikely tourist arrivals would snap back to pre-COVID levels. So what level is reasonable to assume? One way is to look at international tourism trends in countries that have kept borders open. Statistics from the show declines between 50% for Croatia and 57% for Germany. On this basis, researchers have assumed an open border would result in about half the number of international tourists pre-pandemic. In keeping the border closed, therefore, this means losing expenditure of about $11.5 billion a year, or $31.5 million a day. But, you might be thinking, what about the fact the closed border is also stopping Australians going overseas and taking money out of the economy? This is true, but that saved money only helps the local economy if the dollars are spent there. From what research know, household saving rose to record levels last year and domestic tourism spending also declined. Both factors suggest lost international tourist dollars are not being offset in any significant way by higher domestic spending by Australians unable to travel overseas. Losses from international students. The international student market in 2019 was worth about to the Australian economy, according to the Reserve Bank. About $17 billion of that was in tuition fees, and $23 billion for living expenses. That's equivalent to about $109 million a day. Since the border closure, more than 100,000 students enrolled in Australian educational institutions have been prevented from coming into the country. Many have continued their studies online, but total enrollments have also fallen, as the following chart showing the number of international student visa holders over 2020 shows. If the borders were open, research can't assume total student numbers would bounce back to pre-pandemic levels. But it can reasonably assume many of those overseas studying online at an Australian institution would choose to come here. According to the latest March 2021, there are about 112,435 international students in this situation. To be conservative, research assumed 70%, about 78,700, would return to study onshore. To get an idea how much this would add to the economy, researcher calculated each student would spend about $24,090 a year minus $66 a day on Australian goods and services. This is based on a total of about international students enrolled in Australia in 2019 spending $23 billion on living expenses, per the Reserve Bank figures. On this basis, research conclude the closed border is keeping about 78,700 international students out of the country and costing the economy $5.2 million a day. Let's round it down to $5 million a day to be conservative.
We hope that you will like our efforts to provide accurate information to you, and you will definitely like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And of course, don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks for watching. See you again with another video.